2014. Unofficial estimate of Jewish population of Collier County is 10,000. Helen Weinfeld first visited Naples in 1954 and made it her home in 1969. She may not have been the first Jew to pioneer this region, but she was first to take on the responsibility of preserving its emerging Jewish historical trail.
I started collecting information about the Jewish Community Center of Collier County in 1972 when my husband became president. I have all of his records of all of the correspondence that he conducted during the time he was president. Plus, he also was very involved in the membership committee. He was chairman of the membership committee in 1976. He was president, but his assistant was Helen. I did most of the correspondence. I also did most of the artwork that was involved in the early Jewish Community Center, which later became Temple Shalom. My husband died in 1987, and instead of just sitting around and doing nothing, in addition to our office that I kept going, I became acquainted with Rita Book, who had been on the Temple board. She brought up the idea to the board that we should have that I should be the historian. And I was appointed a historian by Bob Copeland in 1989. Well, Temple Shalom, its forerunner, the Jewish Community Center of Collier County, actually started in 1962. I met my husband while I was working during World War II for the government. I actually worked for him. I was his secretary, and after that, an administrative assistant. And then he helped me to find a job as a classification analyst for the Signal Corps. We both were secular Jews. Nobody in my family, either my mother's family or my father's family, my mother and father were both born in the United States. As far as I know, I was Jewish. That's all I knew. I knew nothing really about the religion. And we never lighted candles. We never had a Shabbat dinner. I never had a Shabbat dinner until down here we were invited to the Lintzes and the Hershens for Shabbat dinner. And my husband, I think the same way. You have to realize that I was brought up during the Depression. My mother and father were concerned about making a living. And particularly in a city like Philadelphia, where I lived in a sort of suburb called Germantown, where there were very, very few Jews. And the only Jews that were there were either the Reform German Jewish Jews or the people that were in business. I didn't feel comfortable in a Gentile society, but I also didn't feel comfortable in a Jewish society because I was neither one nor the other. My husband, on the other hand, was, well, first of all, he was 15 years older than I, so he was much more experienced with life than I. But his family had been in the wholesale grocery business in a section of Philadelphia where most of the people were in important businesses. When he left the Army, he opened various parking lots in Atlantic City because he knew that the automobile was going to be a very, very important part of people's lives. And he brought that business up to as far as he wanted to go, and then started in the real estate business. We had seen a movie called Beyond the 12-Mile Reef with Gilbert Roland, and it was about the sponge fishermen in Tarpon Springs.